Hey there, it's Casey Dimon, TaxSaleAcademy.com. Thank you so much for joining me on today's quick tip video. If you do enjoy these tax sale training videos, make sure you do me a favor. Click that thumbs up button. And also, be sure to subscribe to our channel. That way you don't miss out on future training videos. Today we're talking about the opening bid amount. How exactly are those opening bids established when you look at a tax sale auction list? Well, it all depends on state statute and exactly how they are written. In most states, those state statutes are very rigid, and they require that the county go through a very specific process to determine that opening bid amount. In other states, the statute is a little bit more flexible, and they do allow for some county input. So how are those numbers established? Well, in most states, the process that is utilized is going to be a combination of the back due taxes, the interest, penalties, and fees. And when you combine all those things, that's going to be the opening bid amount that the property is offered at. So if you live in a state where it takes 3 years of tax delinquent status before a piece of property goes through a tax foreclosure and then subsequently to the tax sale, you're going to have 3 years worth of back due taxes, interest on those 3 years, penalties, and any fees. And when I say the word fees, I'm talking about maybe a legal fee, a foreclosure fee, a notice fee, an advertising fee, all that kind of stuff. They'll bundle all that stuff up, and that's going to be your opening bid. Now, in other areas, what they'll do is they'll actually have a real estate appraiser go out and appraise the property, and they'll offer the property at a percentage of that appraised value. It could be 20, 30, 40, 50% of that appraised value. In other areas, they'll use the tax assessed value, and the opening bid will be a percentage of that tax assessed value. Now, obviously, when they're using a percentage of value, that is going to be a much higher bid amount than when you compare it to the places that are only using the back due taxes, interest, penalties, and fees. Now, in a few areas, the county has a lot of input, and they basically just kind of pull a number out of thin air. So they say a piece of property should have an opening bid of this, and that is what that piece of property is offered at. Now, it's also important to note out that sometimes they do kind of round up or round down to maybe the nearest dollar or the nearest $100. So if you don't see a number that ends in 13 or 14 cents or some sort of decimal, that's not that big of a deal. They're just rounding. Now, on that same token, what will happen is in many areas, if a piece of property does not sell at a tax sale auction, the price will begin to get reduced. It could drop all the way down to a very nominal amount. I've seen them as low as 1 cent opening bids for a second round type auction in some states. Usually it's going to be $20 or $100 or some sort of nominal amount. In other areas, if they don't drop down quite that far so quickly, what they'll do is they'll begin to discount that property. So if it starts at, say, $3,000, the next time it's going to be offered for sale or at auction, it could start at $2,500 or $2,000, and they'll eventually start discounting that property until it sells. So that is how the opening bids are established. Most areas go by the amount of the back due taxes, interest, penalties, and fees, and it might even be rounded a little bit. But again, some areas do use a percentage of market or assessed value, or they might even assign a number to it themselves. And like I said, if they don't sell, that's when the value or the price really starts dropping. You can get lots of profitable properties if you play your cards correctly. Guys, I really hope you've enjoyed this video. For more information on tax sale investing, head on over to TaxSaleAcademy.com. Click on join. You can join the Tax Sale Academy, a very, very comprehensive step-by-step tax sale training program. Or if you're not quite ready for that, pick up my book right here, Tax Sale Playbook. The book itself is free if you just cover shipping costs. Take care, folks. Bye-bye.